All right, if there's anything unclear or if you need clarification on anything, feel free to ask. Is there any question regarding Blackboard in general? Also, I suggest that we take a short break, maybe 10 minutes, and then continue, or we can finish up before the Maghrib prayer. What do you prefer? Okay, so let's go ahead and continue, and we'll wrap up the session, God willing, after the Maghrib prayer. I just want to make sure you all stay engaged during the session. So we've seen and discussed these parts together, but we haven't looked at the sections related to the course content yet. Okay, would you like to take a short break for 10 minutes or something, and then we can continue, or we can continue and end the meeting at sunset prayer? We can continue. Okay. God willing. We are fine. We can continue and continue. And we'll wrap up the session, God willing, after the Maghrib prayer. I just want to make sure you all stay engaged during the session. So, right now, we've looked at these parts together and discussed them, but we haven't seen the sections related to the course content yet. Right now, I have some content that I'm going to delete. You'll also see how the deletion is done. I have deletion here, and I'm going to delete here. Okay, deleting in course content shows a mark for empty space. Fill it to remove the mark. Organize your content. Add files, audio, images, videos, links. What I want to say is that the content you have here is empty. Once you start filling it in, this mark will disappear. So when you all are handling the course content, the best practice is to have some organization for this content. Organization for what? For the content. Now you will be working with me on creating this content. There are many things available in the creation section. You can create items like files, audio, images, videos, and links. You can create anything you want. But the idea isn't just to create a bunch of files and throw them in there unordered. The best approach in this process is organization. You should create folders. What should you create? Content folders. This folder, you will be working with me on creating content. There are many things available. You can create items like files, audio, images, videos, and links. Anything you want to create. But the idea isn't just to create a bunch of files and throw them in there without any order or system. The best approach in this process is organization. You should create folders. What should you create? Content folders. This means you can create a set of folders, like a content folder for Unit 1, a content folder for Unit 2, a content folder for Unit 3, or a folder for Week 1, a folder for Week 2. So it's essential to work with folders. You come here and say, I'm going to name this folder Unit 1. You can also add any description or simple text that appears under that name. For instance, you could say that this is the content for Unit 1. So you can create a set of folders. For example, you could have a content folder for Unit 1, a content folder for Unit 2, a content folder for Unit 3, or if you prefer to organize by weeks, you could have a folder for Week 1, a folder for Week 2, depending on how you want to organize your content. It's essential, or at least better, to work with folders. Now, let's say, for instance, I'm going to name this folder Unit 1. You can also add any description or simple text that appears under that name. For example, you could say that this is the content for Unit 1. And we say, I'm going to name this folder Unit 1, for example. You can also add any description or simple text that appears under that name. For instance, we could say that this is the content for Unit 1, just as an example. I'm just creating content, such as I'm in the process of creating a folder. This folder is still empty. I will put various types of content inside it. My content includes audio files, text documents, videos, images, and any files I want to include. Now, for any folder, you must allow this option or setting to let users access and view this content. Yes. So the student can see the folder and access it to view the content. Unless, if you want to not show this content, for example, you might say, I created the content, but I need the students not to see it today. I just want a couple of days or something for review, and then I'll show it to them. In this case, you would set no for allowing users to view the content. So the students won't be able to access what? This content. Okay, this is regarding what? What's this part about? This part is important too. Setting time and date restrictions. Set time and date restrictions. The folder is available, less timed. Visible March 120 only. I track views. It shows clicks, not views. And the content will be available throughout the semester for the student unless you specify a specific time for it to appear, like from the 1st of March to the 20th of March, for example. So those 20 days are the only days it will show up in the folder along with the content inside it that will appear at that time. Also, I have tracking the number of views. Where are the view counts? It doesn't bring me here, it brings me the number of clicks, meaning the number of clicks or presses. So, how many times has this folder been clicked? 100 times, 200 times? That's the idea behind it. So, the general idea now is that first, I'm creating a folder, and then after I create the folder, I click on the Submit button to create the folder that I named Unit 1, and I put its description here, content of Unit 1. And of course, the icon or shape shows what the folder looks like. I can create another folder and name it Unit 2, and so on. We'll just create two more folders, one for Unit 2 and another for Unit 3. So now, for example, I've created 3 folders. You can continue and create the 4th unit, the 5th unit, depending on your needs. You'll enter the folder, and now the folder is also an empty folder. So now I've created, for example, 3 folders. You can continue and create the 4th unit, the 5th unit, depending on your needs. You'll enter the folder, and now the folder is also an empty folder. Dr. Mahmoud is asking if I want the student to download the folder content. How do I do that? Okay, first, we'll put the content inside a folder as an example and see what happens regarding the part that Dr. Mahmoud is asking about. Now, we are currently inside the folder named Unit 1. We're starting to create content inside this folder. Open the folder to create the content. We'll begin to work with these parts: audio file, image, video, and link. These are the most important elements that you all will be dealing with. So what's the difference between them? Well, the audio is clearly an audio file only. The image is just an image, and the video is a video. The file can also be a link to a Word document or a PowerPoint file. In the end, it deals with a file. There's something we forgot to mention, which we'll bring up. It's called an element. So you see these 4? Each one of them serves a specific function: an audio file, an image, a video, and the element is the container that allows you to build an audio file only. So the image is just an image and the video is a video. All right, the file can also be linked to a Word document or a PowerPoint file. So in the end, it deals with the file. But there's something we forgot to mention here, which we'll bring up so you can see it. It's called an element. So you see these 4? Each one of them serves a specific function: an audio file, an image, a video, and the element is the container that allows you to build. You can put the audio file, the image, and the video inside it. So if you want to create an element for the student that contains all these items, like the file, audio, image, and video, you can definitely do that without any problem. So you see, these 4 countries, each of them has a specific function: file only, audio only, image, video. The element is what contains the container that contains what you can build through. You put the file inside, and it has an audio file, an image, and a video. I mean, I wanted you to make an element for the student that contains all of these elements, which are the file, the audio, the image, and the video. You can do it, no problem. That's it. Yes, God willing, during the break for the Maghrib prayer, we will step out since our meeting is at 7. So during the Maghrib prayer, we will take a final break, meaning we will leave for the prayer, and returning after the prayer will be around 7, which is the end of the meeting. So as you can see, if you want to come and say, let's create a file, then a file will be created. You need to keep in mind that everything you create or interact with in Blackboard has a set of properties. It has a set of what properties? So here I have the name. When I'm creating a file, it asks me, what's the first property? You need to give it a name. So I might say, for example, this is the Unit 1 file or Topic 1. I'm just saying this as an example. I want to add a file. To create a file, I browse my laptop and select it. I click Browse Files and select my file. Assume it's a Word document. Now I've named and selected the file to show the student. If this file isn't right, how do I delete it? There's no delete tool or option, but there's select a different file. I want to select a different file. I click Select a different file. It clears the file and lets me browse again. I can browse local files, right? Good. After browsing, I want this PDF file. I'll get the PDF file, all right? Good. Then I have options. This file is not the file I want gone. How do I delete it? There is no delete word, but there is select a different file. Yes, select a different file. So click on select a different file. What's the space for this file? And it let me go back and browse the local files again. No issue. I can browse the local files, right? Good. After browsing, I want this PDF file, so I will get the PDF file, all right? Good. Then I have options. Open this file in a new window. No issue. Open it. Then allow viewing. See that? If you don't want it shown, say no. If you do, say yes. We saw how often it can be viewed. If you want to restrict the file to show for a specific time, like a week, 2 weeks, or 3, you can set the time and date, the start time and the end time, specify it, then click submit. Oh, I didn't write the name here. It was at the start. Do you want to open this file in a new window or not? No problem. Just open it in a new window. And then here I have the option to allow viewing. Do you see that? Allow viewing of this content. If you don't want this file to be shown to the student, then just say no. But if you want it to be shown, then say yes, just like that. The number of times it can be viewed. If you want to limit file display time, you can set start and end times. I wrote the name initially, but changing the file deleted it. I need to rewrite it. Then I press submit to create Unit 1 file. It has an icon. Now, I created a folder and clarified the file. Logging in as a student, I enter the repeated content. The student finds the folders he created. When I changed the file, it deleted the name, so I need to rewrite Unit 1 file. Then I press submit to create it. From the repeated content, I created a folder and clarified the file. Logging in as a student, I will enter the repeated content. The student will find the folders we created. Here are the folders created before. To check for the student, you can verify your creation. Without student accounts, you do the check. Enter the repeated content and confirm, oh, this is good because I created the folders. Everything is good without student accounts. From within the repeated content, I created a folder and clarified the file inside. What will the student find? To check for the student, verify your work. If you lack student accounts, the system provides a check. Enter the repeated content and confirm this is good because I created the folders. Now, let me enter this folder. Is the file there? Yes, it is. The system ensures your work is correct. Log in as a student to verify. If the student clicks, it opens the PDF file. Can they download it? Yes, they can, no problem. You can do a check for the student when you create something and want to make sure. You might not have student accounts, so you do the check. That's why the system created this check for you. You can enter the repeated content and say, oh, this is good because I actually created the 3 folders. Now, let me go into this folder. Is the file I created really there? Yes, it is there. Everything is good because you don't have student accounts. So the system created this check for you to ensure that the work you're doing is correct. You can log in as a student and verify that the work is there. But right now, since I'm in training, I have student accounts. I'm logged in with a student account. And when I enter the folder, the student sees it like this. If the student clicks now, what will happen? It opens the PDF file. Can they download the PDF file? Yes, they can. No problem. Look, we have here. The student can print and they can download or save the file. The option is available for them to download or save the file without any issues at all. This answers Dr. Mahmoud's question. The student can print and they can download or save the file. The option is available for them to download or save the file without any issues at all. This answers Dr. Mahmoud's question.